What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. My name is Travis. Today we're going to be replacing the return pump on the Frag system with this new Jebao DCP 18,000. Now this is my first time using the 18,000 period, no matter if it's a DCS or the DCP, but I have used the DCP pumps before. If you guys remember the 125 gallon planted tank, I used this as an external pump. It worked really well, so I figured I'd go ahead and get another one, but a bigger version for the Frag system. Now, I do have a Jebao DCS 12,000 in here. It's basically the one off of the 125 gallon reef, and there's another fish in the sump. That's why I took the filter socks off. They keep going down the overflows, so I have to get him out while I'm doing this whole process. But either way, that is the Jebao DCS 12,000. I think it's about 3,200 gallons per hour. And you guys can see that there's not a lot of flow coming through the carbon. I actually have to change it. But you can also see from the tank, there's not a lot of flow out of the bottom lowboy here. There's a little bit more coming out of the top one. And then we can go look at the other tank. Sorry if I'm spinning you guys around. A little bit more flow coming out of that. And then the bottom one, a little bit more. Now I do have ball valves that allow me to dictate how much flow goes to each tank, but 3,200 gallons per hour is just not enough. Plus it feeds the 40 gallon refugium, which doesn't have a lot of flow going towards it. So overall, it's just not a big enough pump, so I figured I'd go ahead and try out this DCP 18,000. I think I got it for $155 on eBay, and the reviews are good. The like I said, the smaller version, I think I had the 6,000 on that 125 gallon, and it worked out really, really well. So we're gonna go ahead and swap it out here in this video. Now it's going to be a pretty easy swap. We have the union here, and basically I'm just going to take this pump out, put them side by side so you guys can see the size difference, and then we're just going to basically just do a connection up to a union piece like this and then just slide it in. That sounded dirty, but you know what I mean. And then that's basically going to take care of everything here. You can see that we have the two ball valves for the low boys to the right side, and then we have the reactor, and then the two ball valves here for the other low boys. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's not my main display. It's just a Frag system, so it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be functional. So with that said, let's go ahead and say hi to the 300 real quick. Hello, Dirty 300 and Dirty Frag Tank. We're gonna go ahead and get this unboxed, and then we'll start swapping it out. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and unboxed everything real quick. I didn't think you guys want to see me actually taking it out of the box. It's kind of pointless. But I wanted you guys to see everything we have here. So the pump itself is just completely massive. You just don't really realize it until you're sitting next to the original DCS 12,000, again, which I'll take out and you guys will see exactly the difference in size. But, I mean, just this controller, I mean, why? Why does it have to be as big as my hand? I mean, you get away with it being this big. But I don't know. I didn't build them. I don't have no clue why. Now, one thing about this pump that was kind of a pain in the ass is that the fittings that it came with it were these 1 1/4 and then 1 1/2. Now, it was the problem is that the standard 1 1/2 or 1 1/4 piping at Home Depot just wouldn't go on the inside of this. It just wouldn't work. So I had to get a coupling, which is just not what I wanted to do. And basically, we're going to have to put this on there and basically make it permanent. Really won't be able to take it off depending on how far this has to go down to seal properly, but yeah, it's not what I wanted to do, and I spent about 20 minutes at Home Depot just like, I talked to everybody, I was like, man, is there any other way? It's just because of, you know, it's built outside of the United States. It's not really, you know, gonna fit our PVC, which is strange because the DCS 12,000 and that 6,000 DCP that I had worked just fine with the 1 inch. So I don't know what it is about this 18,000 that just makes it difficult for the PVC, but either way this will work. We're going to take it from that 1 1/2 down to the 3/4 inch because that's what my plumbing is on the Frag tank, and then you know, it'll go out to the manifold and take care of itself from there. Now of course we are going to use the bottom half of this union, which will just basically, it will connect directly to original pump, and you know, we'll be good to go from there. So other than that, let's go over and take out the DCS 12,000, put them side by side, and then make the swap. Okay, so I went ahead and just turned off the return pump and the skimmer. I definitely have to get in here and clean the skimmer out at some point. But yeah, it's gonna be relatively easy to uninstall. We're just gonna take off the union. And when I originally built the Frag tank, I knew I was going to replace it at some point. That's why I put this one in here. Also for cleaning purposes, it's pretty easy. But yeah, so that is You can already see the size difference, and I'm getting water everywhere. But yeah, so this one's pretty dirty. I haven't cleaned it in about 6 months. It's pretty much due for cleaning. And that was another motivation behind just flat out replacing it. So I am going to keep this pump as a backup because you never know when something's going to fail, and I'd rather have that pump. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this cordage out of here, get the power brick out, get the control module, and then we'll do the side-by-side and make the swap. Alright, so here are both of our pumps, the DCS 12,000 on the left, and of course our new DCP 18,000 on the right. Like I said, pretty huge difference in size. The two controllers, let's put them side by side, pretty crazy. And then the power bricks, yeah. So if you have one of these, now you get a general idea of what you would be upgrading to make sure that your sump and everything fits. Now it does come with the dimensions on the box or in the description when you purchase it, so just make sure that this is actually going to fit before you go ahead and upgrade. So with that said, basically all we have to do now is just extend it to here. We're going to keep them side by side so I know that it's going to fit directly in there, and basically just add a piece of pipe to right here, then throw it into the okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now when you get your pump, this O-ring will not be installed. Make sure you put it in there or it's not going to seal properly when you put your fitting on. So we're going to go ahead and then just put this 1.5 on, screw it into place. Now I don't think I'm going to be able to unscrew this ever, basically because of how I have to put the coupling on it to get it to actually plumb up. So basically this is forever. Make sure that's on there. And that's okay because that's why we have the union. If we ever need to disconnect it, we don't have to use these down here. Now the next thing we're going to use is this 1.5 inch coupling. We're going to glue it in place, and then of course put our 1.5 inch down to our 3/4 inch. So let's go and do that. Okay, so when you're making a video about gluing PVC together, you should probably have the PVC cement with you. So I had to go find that because that's just kind of how today's going apparently. So let's go ahead and start by putting the 1.5 to 3/4 inch together. I don't use the primer anymore. I know you guys were asking me when I did a plumbing video a little while back, why didn't I use the primer? Well, basically, you don't really need it in these types of situations. There's not a ton of high pressure. There's not really, you know, that's what it's for. So I don't use it anymore because personally I don't like the look of the purple because I always mess it up. I'm not really that neat when it comes to it, but there we go, in place, ready to go. Let's go ahead and fit this bad boy on there. So again, I'm not really sure on how far it's going to go down. I just want to make sure it has a good seal. That's basically what's going to happen. I already know I'm not going to be able to remove it in the future. So let's see how it goes down. All right, so maybe, actually, let's see. Maybe I can remove it. Since it is about the same size. It's pretty tight, but it's working. Okay, awesome. So I can remove it. Wasn't quite sure when I originally looked at it, but since it does, I mean, it fits. It's not the greatest, but cool. That makes me happy. Now I know I can remove it if I need to, but again, that's why we have the union, just in case. So I'm gonna let these dry for a couple minutes. Go ahead and grab some of the PVC, and we'll be right back. All right, so let's go ahead and get this piece on there. So we're gonna go ahead and put the bottom of the union on first, just to make sure that it completely fits before we glue everything. So just kind of get it in place. All right, so approximate length, what we need. Doesn't have to be perfect because we are, the manifold flexes a little bit, so it's not gonna be, you know, awful if it's not the exact same size. So let's start with this here, see how it fits. Always cut a little bit longer because you can take more off, you can't add. So let's see how that goes. It's pretty close. It's a little low, but we're going to be adding this to it. We might as well do that now. What height did that give us? So now it's like a hair taller. It's almost nothing. I might consider cutting it a little bit, but like I said, the manifold flex is a little, so it's not going to be a huge deal. So that's probably good the way it is. So I'm just going to glue it and go ahead and put it in place. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, let's get this guy in there. So it's not a very complicated process, but you guys have asked about it, and you guys want to see these little things. I usually don't do videos on this type of stuff because it is so basic, but you guys want to see it, so I am here to make the video. So there we go. It is literally ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything, the camera and the kind of the lights and shit, all the way over to the frag tank, and we'll install this guy and we'll kind of see what the flow difference is. Okay, so let's go ahead and install this bad boy. Should be pretty simple. Get some of these cords out of the way. That should go right up. Wouldn't that be the shit if I accidentally put the wrong end of that union on there? Another trip to Home Depot. So it is just barely touching the bottom glass. Like I said, this flexes a little bit, not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and zip tie this a little bit later, like the original setup, just to make sure that the reactor, you know, for whatever reason, doesn't accidentally fall out of the sump, cause a bigger mess than it needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off, run this bad boy all the way up behind all this junk, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Okay, everything is in place, installed. Basically just need to turn the power on. Pump is good to go. Did not get the fish out of the sump yet. Will do. That's the second time going in there. I think he's meant to live in there, honestly. I did put the controller box right here. I'm gonna move all this wiring and get it out of the way so it doesn't look so shitty. But all right, so let's go ahead and head over to the Apex. Turn it on real quick, and then we'll see kind of how it goes. So we'll just do the power at first. See what it defaults as. Looks like it's ramping up. Okay, it's doing wattage here. I'm not sure if that's 100. I don't know. So this buttons kind of suck. Okay, so yeah, so that's gonna basically that's the high as it goes. Yeah, these buttons blow. You would think with all that controller that the buttons wouldn't suck cock, but damn, they do. Shit, those are awful. I don't know. They don't even. I mean, usually they click, right? So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe if I'm nicer to them. Yeah, I guess if I'm nicer to them, they work. Strange. So it's all the way up right now. Let's look at the flow difference. It's definitely more. You can hear it too. It's definitely more flow. I am going to adjust the bottom one so it has more flow out of it with those ball valves. One thing I did make sure is that the ATO was turned off. We didn't have any issues with that. It's definitely more flow. Not a ton, but definitely more than what I had. Reactor's moving more, but cool. It took out quite a bit of water since we were at our level mark here. It did take out quite a bit of water when it kicked back on. So what we'll do to fix that, we'll just go ahead and turn our water storage on. Since we are at 100%, we're going to stay at 100%. We'll just fill that up real quick. That's pretty much it. I am going to change out the carbon here in a couple minutes. I am cleaning the bottom lowboy as well. It's just dirty and got a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to be cleaning all that. Ha, so much flow, it popped off the little PVC that was in there. That's funny. Cool. I'm not mad about it. So yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. I'm going to make a few adjustments on the manifold here to get more flow to the bottom left lowboy. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Going to fix that PVC that popped off, and yeah. So far the pump's pretty good. Not really sure about the whole button situation. I guess if you're nicer to it and you don't try to push the button, it actually allows you to adjust the whole percentage-wise. But other than that, not a bad pump. I'm glad it worked, and more flow to the frag system is always a good thing. So next time, guys, I will see you later. Peace.